This is Phoebe Green and the Locker of Destiny, written and read by me, James Dubin. Chapter 10, 1995. Megan and Chloe were off in the library doing prep. With 30 minutes until light out, Jade, Alice and Phoebe sat together on the floor of their dorm. The two girls tried to make sense of Phoebe's previous night. Jessica stayed on her bed reading a novel. "So, how did you end up outside, but still inside the locker?" Alice asked. "I don't know," Phoebe said. "I assume I was lifted up and carried by the matron, but when I climbed out of it, there was nobody around." "Well, Miss Parsley definitely couldn't lift a locker," said Jade. "It wasn't her. We had another matron with dark hair," Phoebe said. She noticed that Jessica was listening in with her novel resting in her lap. "Matron actually looked like you," Phoebe said. "Dark hair and the same pointy chin." Jessica felt her chin. Pointy? How old is this woman? Like 40? Phoebe guessed. She tended to lump adults into one of two age buckets, 40 and 70, depending on whether they looked closer in age to her mum or her grandma. Jessica raised her eyebrows and picked up a book. "Thanks," she said. "I don't mean that rudely," Phoebe said. "I mean, she could be your mum. Does your mum work here?" Jessica shook her head, more in annoyance than to answer the question. She picked up her book briefly, but then set it down again and inspected her chin in a little folding mirror. "So, you and your imaginary friends went out on the lawn," said Jade excitedly. Phoebe looked quite hurt by this and went quiet for a minute. Imaginary friends had been a thorny issue in Phoebe's childhood. "Sorry, I didn't mean that," Jade said. "I do believe you." "You don't, though, and I wouldn't either," Phoebe said. "Could you have dreamed it?" Alice asked. "That's what Miss Parsley said. I suppose it's possible. Mummy says I have a strong imagination. It's got me into trouble before." Phoebe felt the wooden beam of Jade's bed digging into her back. She wriggled and moved her shoulder blades to sit on top of it. It was uncomfortable but felt strangely right. "I feel like I'm in Hogwarts," Phoebe said, "like someone has done a spell on me." Jade and Alice looked sympathetic but confused. "What's Hogwarts?" Alice asked. "The school in Harry Potter." "Oh, stop," Phoebe said. "Now is not the time to rib me." "No, seriously," Jade added. "Who is Harry Potter?" "The wizard boy," Phoebe said. "You could literally go to the Amazon rainforest and find an uncontacted tribe and even they would have heard of Harry Potter. He's one of the reasons I even came to boarding school." Jade and Alice shrugged. "Is it new?" Jessica asked. "No," Phoebe said, as if it were the wrongest answer in the world. "There's a theme park. The first book came out in 2000 or something like that, before we were born anyway." Jade looked confused, but Phoebe didn't have a chance to quiz her about it. Chloe and Megan came running into the room. They shoved their books into their trunks and frantically kicked their feet into the legs of their pajamas. "Parsley's coming," Chloe said. "It's 2 minutes until lights out." "Isn't she going to bring our phones in?" Phoebe asked. But nobody seemed to hear as they scrambled to turn out the lights and jump into bed. In the darkness, they could hear the steps of Miss Parsley coming down the hallway. Phoebe looked up at the ceiling and was reassured to spot the spider, although it had moved its web. It got her thinking about cobwebs, and she wondered why the flies stuck to them but the spider didn't. She wanted to write it down in her book of difficult questions, but decided not to turn on the light. She didn't want to annoy the other girls. She felt bad about saying Jessica had a pointy chin, which she hadn't meant rudely. Still, she had only upset one of her new roommates, whereas in her previous room she had upset all of them. That, she thought, is progress. "Phoebe," whispered Jade, "what year do you think it is?" 2025, Phoebe said quietly. "I may be a bit scatty, but I know what year it is." The door opened and Miss Parsley poked her head in. Satisfied the girls were being quiet, she closed it again. The footsteps receded and the girls lay in the darkness. "It's 1995, Jade said, so faintly that Phoebe could barely make it out. "Night-night."